So in the process of converting a van into a camper, somewhere you would actually like to spend time, one of the most essential features that most people start with is changing the front seats to singles and making them swivel. So to make a front seat swivel, you would need a kit, and there's many on the market. They range in quality as much as they range in price, but what we're going to review today and install is this kit available from Magnum Motorhomes. We're not sponsored by them, we've paid for this with our own money. This is a CTA Performing the Evolution since 1977. It's the number one for a Fiat X250, which I'm told is the same as an X290, part number 00230. So this is the kit. First impressions, very solid. This is a heavy piece of kit. Big sturdy plates and bolts, nylon washers and plates underneath, big old bolts coming through. There's a nice easy to access handle, push down and it spins. It will only lock in a forward position, and it's always reassuring when they put their own logo on the product in a visible place. It's come with some instructions. This is it. One side of a sheet of paper, this one in some language I don't understand, this one in English. So we have CTA instructions of assemblage. Take down the seat. Turn the seat swivel at about 30 degrees in order to loosen the screws. Well, that's obvious. If we have it in its straight position, we can't access the screws underneath. So by turning it about 30 degrees, we can now access a bit more. There you go. We can now access our four at the back, two at the front screw locations. It's come with 6 M8 cap screw Allen head bolts, said that wrong, 6 matching nylock nuts and 12 M8 washers, and it'll become obvious where they go as we progress. Tools you need: a 13mm spanner or socket to fit underneath, a T40 star drive, a H6 Allen head, so hexagon 6, and obviously a ratchet, ideally with an extension just for the access you'll see shortly. So let's move on to installation. Now, for the purpose of this demonstration, we're using a stripped down seat base. So this seat is being reupholstered. You wouldn't even need to remove it from the vehicle. You can do this in situ. So hopefully this view helps you see how simple this process is. So as we push our seat back, it reveals our front two bolts. As we move it forward, it reveals the rear two. So we're going to go around, we're going to undo those bolts now. Now with our seat pushed in the rear position, we can access our front screws. So with our 6 bolts there, our seat top is now separated from the lower. However, don't just go ripping it off. 2 things to note. One is our seatbelt tensioner. So part of the airbag system, the wire is cable tied both here and here with a plug down there. Whenever you're playing around with anything to do with airbags or seatbelt tensioners, please ensure you remove your vehicle battery and wait a few minutes, they suggest. So to remove the top, we need to release those cable ties. If you're going to remove it away a distance longer than the cable allows, it's best to also unplug the connector. But please ensure you've removed your vehicle battery first. So let's cut those cable ties. Our seatbelt tensioner cable is now free to move around and is not in any way connected to the base. It's purely connected to the top part of the seat frame. Now we can't yet just lift the seat base off, although it's disconnected. Underneath the rear here here, our top frame wraps under a lower section. It's to add extra security to the seatbelt area. So as we lift our frame, we need to tip up the opposite side and then slide the assembly back about 2 inches just to unhook that point there. So we lift this side, tip it slightly and slide it back. The assembly is now completely clear. So we're now left with our seat base completely clear. No cables, nothing on there, the top gone. We can now see the 6 mounting points, the 4 at the back, the 2 at the front. If we now take our swivel base and offer it onto that area, swivel that about 30 degrees until we reveal all 6 fixings. We're going to move the base around. Now, using the bolts we removed, the bolts we took out, and some new washers, we're going to put them back in those existing holes. So starting with our front, we're just going to thread them, not going to wind them in quite yet. So now we use our same T40 socket to put those bolts back in. Making sure that those 6 bolts with the new washers are done up tight, our swivel base is now secured to our seat base. We now have full range of swivel all the way around. It's now time to fit the seat onto our swivel base. Now, important again is to be able to access those same locations on the top side. We need to turn our seat base to be able to access those bolts. So let's offer up our seat. Making sure we drop the seat mount tensioner wire through the middle. We don't want that caught. Off the seat on. To line up the holes, I've got our front ones visible here with the holes on the seat base. What you'll notice is it will drop in. There's slight dowels on the back of the runners that will drop into some locating holes on the seat base. So there's our seat in position. We now need to take our supplied M8 cap screw bolts, another washer, and our M8 9-lock nuts. The washer and the nut will go on the underside, the bolt will go through the top. So let's start installing those. So using our 13mm spanner or socket underneath to hold the nut, we can then use our H6 to do up the bolt. Moving the seat forward again to access the rear ones. Same procedure with these. So our seat is now fully fitted to its base. We have correct swivel, and we still have forward and back movement. What's left to do now is to secure our seat belt, our part of our airbag system, our seat belt tensioner cable, to ensure it doesn't get caught. Now some cautions needed here. So here we have our, it's actually hard to get your hand in there, here we have our seat belt tensioner cable, part of our airbag system. Now as our seat swivels, that cable needs to move with it. Now there is enough length there to ensure we leave enough. So when you decide to cable tie this around, ensure you leave enough slack to allow full motion of the swivel seat, but in use ensure that this seat is not spun round and round and round like an office chair. It will just damage the cable in the end. So you may want to disconnect it to give yourself a bit more length. Obviously it's cable tied here, but it's not needed until here, so we've got a bit of extra cable there. So you make a decision where you feel safe to route that. Obviously it needs to come through the hole because the seat swivels, but you need to find somewhere to secure that to ensure it doesn't get tangled or doesn't snap at any time. So once we have that cable secured, you're finished. Your seat will still be installed likely in the van, the cushions will be on, unlike this one, and that's it. Your swivel base is installed. Total time to complete the project is around 10 minutes. So it really is a small project. This particular product, the CTA Seat Swivel Base for the X250 Fiat Ducato, Citroen Relay, Peugeot Boxer, Dodge Promaster, appears to be an extremely well built piece of kit. It's available from Magna Motorhomes and other suppliers. We're not sponsored by this. This is an honest, unbiased review that we're installing into a customer conversion. And if we ever have any problems, we'll report back here. But so far, they appear to be a very good product, especially for the price. There are far more expensive ones on the market, but it's hard to improve on the quality of this particular product.